The familiar get even more so tonight at Paladin Stadium as two league-bounding clubs collide for the fourth time this season. It's the Greenville Triumph and the Richmond Kickers on ESPN Plus, presented by ScanSource. Welcome one and all to Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Mark Schoenster. I'm joined by Ricky Lopez-Espin. We're excited to have you on board. Let's take a look at the lay of the land, brought to you by Hopkins Eye Center. Greenville all the way in fourth place, but with the win, they jump up to first. That goes to show you how condensed it is at the top of the table right now in League One. Meanwhile, for the Richmond Kickers, they need to string together some results to get back into the playoff conversations with the likes of Tormenta, Chattanooga, Spokane, the Hailstorm, and whatnot. It's been under a month since the last time these two teams played. It was the Jägermeister Cup clash last time out. It was also the 16th time these two teams have met. Tonight will be the 17th meeting between these two League One sides. Last time out, it was a 2-0 victory for the Triumph, including a banger of a goal here from Pascal Corvino. Still his only professional goal, but when it looks like that, you can still flaunt that one around and just show everybody, yeah, you score bangers when you score. But despite that result, it's been a bit bumpy recently for the Greenville Triumph, Ricky.
I think you're looking for consistency for the Greenville Triumph, and Rick Wright, that's exactly what he's looking for in terms of their performances from minute 1 to minute 90. And yet it starts here at home against a Richmond Kicker side who's struggling to find their footing as well.
Well, when you're looking to turn your form around, sometimes you look to the hometown kid, the hometown veteran, Sebastian Velasquez.
He's a very clever player in the spaces that he picks up in between lines. He can beat you through combination play. He can also beat you through 1v1 action. But the challenge for the Greenville Triumph and Sebastian Velasquez is, what does it look like in terms of the productivity? You need more goals, you need more assists to complement that talent, and it all starts here at home.
Well, if Greenville's recent form's been bumpy, it's been a slump for the Richmond Kickers ever since that huge win at home against the rivals Forward Madison.
Just needs to be better in the back for the Kickers. You look at that goal differential, -7. So how compact can you be in your defensive structure? You secure 1 point, and then you let those players high up the field be those game changers to turn that 1 point into 3 points as you continue to push towards the playoffs.
Well, if that's the back line's thoughts, this is where they're looking on the front line. Nil Vinyals, he pulls the strings.
Brilliant player, plays in between the lines, but also the technical ability, the vision to bring players into this game. 1 goal, 3 assists on the season. I do think he needs to be the best player on the field if Richmond Kickers have any hopes of stealing all 3 points.
Well, these are two players we've highlighted that play very similar roles on their team and also have very similar resumes as far as their careers in the USL. For Velasquez across League One and Championship, for Vinyals just here in League One.
Both wear the number 10, both play in the number 10 position. I do think the question here for tonight is how quickly can one of these get into the rhythm, because they've shown that they can be game changers for their respective clubs.
Well, it's a chance for either of these clubs to grab some form. It's up for the grabs. Who will take it? There's only one way to find out, and that's to stay locked in right here on ESPN Plus. The Triumph and the Kickers on the other side of this break.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do, and our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
This evening's match is presented by ScanSource, proud partner of the Greenville Triumph. Here are your starting lineups presented by Pelham Medical Center. Very typical for Rick Wright's side, a 4-2-3-1 to start things off.
My eyes go to the center of the park. Velasquez will be that number 10. Anguiano will drop in a little bit deeper, so that affords Lee to join the attack higher up the field. But how good can that front three be at expressing themselves higher up the field?
Meanwhile, for Darren Sawatsky's side, also a 4-2-3-1. Worth highlighting the 17-year-old Landon Johnson getting his first league start of the season.
And that front three, you want them to be dynamic. You want them to be vertical and ask a lot of questions of the Greenville Triumph in that back line. But my question is, what does a balance look like in Tsuko and Moran? They need to be really comfortable on the ball, dictating tempo for Darren Sawatsky's side.
The kickers in the white unis with the sick alternate crest, in my opinion, with the kangaroo on it. Gotta love that. Meanwhile, Greenville in their standard home uniforms. Will be the kickers going right to left, Greenville left to right. The whistle's blown and we are underway here. Fourth meeting of the season between the kickers and the Greenville Triumph. It's the last scheduled meeting, of course, between these two sides. 4 times is the max amount that two teams can play against each other this season as far as League One clubs are concerned, because you have the home and home series with every team in league play, and then you can play up to 2 matches in Jägermeister Cup play. So this one of the occasions where these teams are playing each other the max amount of times. Let's take a look at this evening's weather report brought to you by Fox Carolina. It's a hot one today, Ricky. 88 degrees, pretty sunny out, also somewhat humid. I don't mean they need to be pretty well conditioned. Luckily, it's pretty deep into the season, so most players are in form running-wise. Of course, every team's got a couple of knocks and bruises there, but it's never the easiest when you got to play in such intense heat.
Makes taking care of the ball that much more important. You want the opponent to do all the chasing, so you can continue to have your legs as this game progresses.
There's a couple touches from Landon Johnson. Got a couple of starts last year before becoming the historical signee. Now here's Sierakowski. Flag stays down. Sierakowski searching for an option. Couldn't get it by Garner. It's out for a corner kick early on in this one. Christian Garner called into action quickly. That's always a question with each Greenville game. Who is going to start between the sticks? Is it Rankenberg or Garner? And on this occasion, it's the Massachusetts man, Christian Garner, getting the look.
What an opportunity that would have been for Sierakowski just to get an opening goal within the first 2 minutes. Good save from Garner. Comes off his line really quickly.
Corner kick from Vinyals was a bit low. And now it's into the hands of Christian Garner. Now let's take a look at our Acumen IT keys to the game. They both center around what happens when Greenville has the ball, which they're intending to try to do quite a bit in this one, Ricky, but it's going to be a question of who falters or who creates the opening.
Rick Wright, he says he wants his side to move the ball very quickly and be very decisive when in possession. And as for the kickers defensively, we talked about it. Darren Sawatsky, that's going to be the top priority. How do you get a clean sheet on the board? And it starts in the first 10 to 15 minutes to get quickly in a defensive rhythm.
Here is Lyle McKinnon, one of the league's top goal scorers. Gets dispossessed there, though. Simon Fitch, who has been a good right back this season. He'll have his hands full taking care of that winger. Sierakowski pushed down by Schultz. Last time out for Greenville was over last weekend, a 2-1 Jägermeister Cup loss on the road against the Charlotte Independents. Rick Wright described it as a huge disappointment. He felt they gave away 2 really soft goals in that one. And afterwards, he was trying to grapple with what to take away from that game. And the thing is they created the opportunities, they had the chances. He said, I mean, you could either be upset that you let 2 easy ones get by, or you could look at it at, hey, we're not that far off. We just got to clean up those mistakes, and then we're in a good spot play style-wise.
And it goes back to what we talked about in the opening, Mark, because you look at the consistency, and that's mentally as well. When the ball goes over the line, you cannot turn off. You have to have the ability to close down and stick with your individual marker, and that's what the Greenville Triumph struggled with last time out. So what does a bounce back in the reaction look like from the home side? That's something that we have to keep in our mind as this game progresses in.
These are 2 teams both are trying to get out of a bit of a fit of frustration. The kickers, of course, across the span of the season haven't had the stretches of success that Greenville have had. You can obviously pick that out from their positions in the table. But for Darren Sawatsky's side, he's felt it's been an awkward season where the moment they feel like they get something, some good things going, something unforeseen gets in the way, like when it came to winning that game against Forward Madison, that big victory, late game goal. They then had 10 days off, so they weren't able to work with that. And although Darren Sawatsky was quick to say, I mean, he's all about having those mental health breaks during the season, it just came at an inconvenient time.
Yeah, really difficult to get in a rhythm within their performance to stack on one another, but also this team has been hit with the injury bug as well. Players are unable to get in rhythm in themselves individually. Look at Terzaghi as well, has dealt with an injury early on, but as of late has coming into his own right as we take a look at Rick Wright, the head coach for the Greenville Triumph.
Rick Wright in his first season as the head man for Greenville. So although it's technically just his fourth meeting with the Darren Sawatsky-led Richmond Kickers, Sawatsky's been there for a couple years now. Rick Wright familiar with that man, Darren Sawatsky, as Wright was the assistant coach for Greenville every year prior to that. So he's been a part of all of the matchups between the Kickers and Greenville. Darren Sawatsky with the large bulk of them, having taken over the reins in 2020. When it comes to how much the league has changed and grown throughout the years, these are two guys who have been around it from the get-go, because Darren Sawatsky was also there in 2019 just as the coach of Tucson. So if you ever want to talk to two guys who have seen where this league has been, see where it's been going, they can give you every chapter. And both of them have seen success and have seen trophies. Not a lot of teams in this league have got trophies in that trophy case, but these are two clubs that have collected either a League One title or Player Shield. Now, in Greenville's case, those two were sort of lumped together in 2020. Richmond getting it just a few years ago, Player Shield-wise. Velasquez brought that one down and then was picked up by Richmond. Now here's Sierakowski. Turns his side. We'll see if it glanced off of Sierakowski a second time. It looks to be the case. Was trying to win the corner kick, glancing it off of Schultz, but then it glanced off of Sierakowski.
The second time that we've seen the Kickers elect to play direct for Sierakowski just to run onto it. Very direct in his movement. There's a lot of pace, but Schultz has done very well in the two instances.
Mobley is trying to parry that one out to Evan Lee. And now Polak gets tripped up. Ref says fair game. Our head official for today, Stern Briam.
I also think the spacing of Emiliano Terzaghi is going to be really important for the Kickers. You want him to stay as high as possible to occupy Fricky and Smith. As a result of that, now you afford Neil Vigneault the ability to operate in between the lines. So as Terzaghi is dropping into his feet, very comfortable in the link-up play, now actually squeezes the Kickers in terms of their structure offensively.
He is the scary man up top for years now for the Richmond Kickers. Of course, still USL League One's leading goal scorer across all the years. Over 50 goals to his name in what is still the pretty young history of the USL League One. Moran brings that one back into play, Nathan Awney. In the starting lineup once again, it's him and Griffin Garnett, the center back pairing. The opposite end of that guy. Suko finds Terzaghi, and Terzaghi will keep it in play. Terzaghi down the right-hand side. Feeds this one centrally. He was trying to find Sierakowski. He's just too far ahead of him.
As he ventures away from his central position, now you're asking for the players around him to play centrally. Johnson needs to continue his run to that near post, but you're Sierakowski, you need to get on your bike, get the right goal side position of Schultz, and if you do, it's 1-0 to the Kickers. You just see what a clever player reigning MVP can be.
And although that man's a goal scorer primarily. Not afraid to get involved in the development of a play. Actually had a fantastic assist in that last game against Tormenta. With his back towards goal, he just sliced it right on target. Now Evan Lee will give this one to Sebastian Velasquez. A little back and forth between the two of them. After a frustrating loss like the one against Charlotte, asked Rick Wright how intense training sessions were, as it's been pretty notable throughout the year just how intense the sessions have been for his side, but he mentioned that actually in this occasion they made an effort to dial it back, as this one nearly slips through to Terzaghi. Polak will pick it up from here. Lyon McKinnon switching the point of attack here over to Ben Zakowski, who gets to start at that right winger spot. Zakowski takes a shot himself. That'll be easy pickings for Ryan Shello, getting his 4th start in league play this season.
Zakowski, left footer, playing on the right-hand side, so always going to challenge into the interior. Knows exactly what he's doing, but if you're Shenfield, you need to be tighter. You cannot allow a free shot from about 19 yards out. Fortunate, it's straight at Shello. Easy save for the goalkeeper.
Zakowski may be one of those guys for this for this Greenville team. Could be a part of sparking another run here. He's just a player who plays with his hair on fire, and he's been coming off the bench primarily at this point in the season. He spent a brief time in the starting lineup when Velasquez was out due to injury, playing in that spot. He does have a little bit of pizzazz to his play. They're looking to see if he can inject some of that life into the starting 11. Had some good training sessions this week, made some tweaks, had some intense video sessions. Changes are coming is what Rick Wright told us when we were talking to him. He certainly has not been satisfied with the way they've been playing as of late. Anguiano gets knocked down by Nil Vinyals. Schultz. And that one denied. There's another look at Darren Sawatsky. What to throw a congratulations to him. Recently signed an extension with the Richmond Kickers. Asked him, obviously there's the one end of the equation, Ricky, where you've got to prove that you're worth being kept around for a club, but also there's the flip side of it. He's got to want to stay around. And so I asked him what's attracted him to Richmond, what's kept him in Richmond. And he said, well, first off, he's got a great relationship with Rob Ukrop, former roommates when they played at New England Revolution. But on top of it, his wife and Darren love it in Richmond. There are 4 existing teams in the league right now with trophies. The Kickers are one of them. I already mentioned that earlier. Greenville, another one with a trophy. He said that we've got a great hub of talented young players here too, and they haven't been able to make that impact at the larger level, and they want to change that. They want to get these kids from Richmond through their system, playing in the MLS, playing overseas. So he's really got a vision for what this organization can become. He likes the area. So just good news all around for Richmond, for Darren Sawatsky, that extension was signed. Got another corner kick for the visitors. Here's Vinyals. He'll play it short. Returned right back out to him. Vinyals' service curling in. Still in the fray of things, and it's in the back of the net. Ryan Sierakowski on his back gives Richmond the advantage. Wonderful work on the set piece.
Set pieces are a fantastic way to kickstart the attacking phase of the game, but it starts with this short corner kick because that allows Fitch to come across the corner. Fantastic ball from Vigneault, and he does everything right, Fitch, to center back. Puts it back across where it comes from, and that's an instinctual finish from Sierakowski. Body position, technical ability, get it on target, you give yourself a chance, and the Richmond Kickers dreamland here on the road take the 1-0 lead.
That's a way to spark a run of form. A fantastic goal. And Ryan Sierakowski getting his first goal of the season. And what a way to do it. Longtime journeyman in USL League One, has seen his way around a couple of teams throughout the years. Returned to the Richmond Kickers this season, which I think is always big for a player to just settle down somewhere and really get used to what a team is about, their structure, how they play. And now he is awarding that faith with a huge goal here. Now it's about maintaining that lead.
And as for Rick Wright, it's going to be really frustrating to concede yet another set piece. When it turns off, mentally unable to stay with Fitch as he comes around the corner, and the lack of man marking as well to let us center forward get that free from about 8-9 yards out. In the blink of an eye, you're down a goal yet at home once again.
So a fantastic acrobatic finish from Ryan Sierakowski has given the Richmond Kickers the lead. It's worth noting, Ricky, this season, this being the fourth meeting between these two sides, the road team has won all three matchups. And now the Kickers trying to solidify that trend here in the regular season. This is the last meeting scheduled between these two sides. Jamie Smith gets tripped up, free kick for the Richmond Kickers, or excuse me, for Greenville. Fans, make sure to visit the GreenvilleTriumphShop.com to check out the latest merch and kit launches. You could wear the kit they're sporting right now. Got a nice lilac kit this year for Jägermeister Cup games. And a bunch of other good stuff too, of course. First goal of the season for Ryan Sierakowski, second assist of the year in league play for Simon Fitch. Kickers off and running on the road. That's just the kind of start that you want to get on the road too. Just get an early goal, take some of the wind out of the sails of the home crowd. And for a team that already forces you to play with some patience, it's a lot harder to be patient when you have that sense of urgency of trying to get back into a game.
For Darren Sawatzki, exactly what he would have wanted. Get an early goal, now you get all 11 players behind the ball and be a little bit more defensive. If you are the Greenville Triumph, you need to get Robles on the ball a little bit more. Velasquez, two players that have been extremely quiet through the first 18 minutes. We talked about how influential he can be once he gets going. Nice little conversation with Rick Wright about him. Sebastian Velasquez said he was his best performance last time out in a Greenville Triumph jersey, but now just need more out of him.
That one cleared away before anything dangerous could happen for Greenville. Now Schultz. Gets this one back to his center back and captain, Brandon Fricke. Greenville now trying to hold the ball a little bit in Richmond's half. Now McKinnon was able to find a quick response after going down a goal last weekend. And if there was anybody you'd be looking to find the back of the net for the Triumph, of course, it would be the Swiss man, Liam McKinnon. 8 goals in league play, 4 in the Jägermeister Cup. It's also a handful of assists to his name as well if he wants to whip it across for the likes of Robles or Velasquez, Zakowski, etc. There's McKinnon once again. Split the defenders, but then there was a third one there, but he does draw the foul, so free kick for Greenville. Some whistles from our head official, Stern Brigham. Ball forward from Brandon Fricke, and it will bounce harmlessly to Ryan Shello. He'll wait to pick it up. Fans, download the FanSaves app and follow the Greenville Triumph for access to exclusive deals at your favorite restaurants and breweries. Who doesn't love some savings? It's Justin Suko. Hit the brakes as he wiggles by Tyler Pollock. Now Johnson. Is that one jarred loose? Lee is able to swerve by Nil Vignoles, maintain possession for Greenville. I'll go down the right-hand side this go-around, Nate Schultz. Nice ball ahead for Zakowski. Zakowski, a bit inaccurate with that ball. Not sure if he was trying to rocket that towards the 6 or potentially that was a shot that had some momentum to it. But it swerved off target one way or another.
It's the best action that we've seen from Greenville. You start this play on one side of the field, you end it on the other. That's when you're asking for a little bit more quality from Zakowski. Just put it across that 6-yard box, let a teammate run onto it. Really clever as a result of it from Sebastian Velasquez. Feels any sort of contact from Vignoles, he goes down and wins a really interesting set piece here for the home side.
Jamie Smith there. It looks like at the moment Brandon Fricke, but I don't think I've ever seen Brandon Fricke take a free kick before, so I'm sure that's more so conversationally. I know that we've been working on the training ground though.
Plethora of options here for Smith. He hit it extremely well to beat a keeper like Shella from this distance, but also you have about 3 options. Sometimes it's not the initial ball, but it's the second wave that can really hurt teams.
He's proven in the past that he's got a boot on him, Jamie Smith. Especially against this goal in particular on the right-hand side of the pitch. He's been given the go-ahead. Smith winds up, and that's not a bad take. Wasn't quite on frame, but it had a good shape to it.
Tries to catch Shella cheating and go the goalkeeper way. Very difficult technique. Just watch the way that he follows through on it, trying to get the dip on it. Unable to put it on target, but he hits it extremely well, the center back does.
Jamie Smith, a player who's really risen to a prominent role on this team this year in his 3rd year in Triumph colors. As I was saying earlier, this is a Richmond team. Forces you to be patient. Wright was saying that it's been late goals that have won them the games against the Kickers on the road these past 2 meetings. I mentioned it's just entirely a different kind of game than one against the likes of a Charlotte Independence or Knoxville. I said Richmond's an awkward team to play against, and now that Terzaghi is getting more games under his belt, getting healthier, what was awkward is only getting trickier to handle, of course. Any coach who's been in this league for long enough knows about just how much of a problem Emiliano Terzaghi can be, even if he hasn't quite had the season he has had in years past.
Just requires so much attention. As he brings in 2-3 players of opposing teams now, his decision-making comes into play. Has a very good feel of what type of play is needed higher up the field. The reason why he's won the MVP numerous of times in USL League One.
So some conversation. It looks like a yellow card is in the hands of our head official, and Lyon McKinnon's going to go into the book away from the ball. So whether that was an action that took place earlier or some dissent, Lyon McKinnon getting his first yellow card in league play this season.
The referee has issued a caution.
More odd occurrence, to say the least.
Lyon McKinnon in the 24th minute.
I have confirmed that it was for some dissenting opinions of Lyon McKinnon. This is a guy who usually has kept himself squeaky clean in that regard. Vignoles. It's back inside. surveying his options, looking to see where to go with the ball. Now Schenfeld. Sikowski is on him pretty harshly and ultimately fouls him. The USL League One matchup kicks off September coverage on the CBS Sports Network. Players Shield holder Union Omaha visits newcomer Spokane Velocity FC in their first ever regular season clash. September 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Last time those two teams played in Spokane for Jägermeister Cup play. Quite an exciting game, so certainly tune into that one if, you know, there wasn't already enough reason for it. Vinyals. Another set piece. This one falls to the ground. Dealt with by Greenville. Anguiano. It's ushered off the ball. Landed Johnson. And they're winning it back for Richmond. Now Vinyals. Couldn't win a corner kick off of Schultz. This is the second time Schultz has been able to prevent the corner kick and maintain possession for Greenville. And now Lion McKinnon is running. Lion McKinnon making his way to the penalty area. McKinnon takes a shot. It's saved by Shellout. Tense moments there. Lion McKinnon, when he's got a head full of steam, is awfully dangerous. It's one of many great individual talents on this Greenville team. Darren Sawatsky said it. One guy can win it for them. They have several of those kinds of players. And Emiliano Terzaghi will get a yellow card for the clipping from behind on Jamie Smith. Terzaghi, the player that also fits in that game changer category, according to Darren Sawatsky. When he's at full health, of course.
Bit of frustration from Terzaghi. Little clip of the heels of Smith. Sees himself into the book. That last action, you just see how explosive the Triumph can be at turning their defense into offense. A lot of players, whether it's McKinnon, Sikowski, Robles, that like to run onto green grass. So your balance for the kickers is going to be everything.
And a promising free kick incoming for the Triumph. Robles tripped up. It looks like he was hoping for some more there as far as punishment is concerned. Another promising set piece position for the home team. On this occasion, it's Sebastian Velasquez who sits behind it. Looking to see more on the stat sheet from Velasquez. No goals, no assists in a Greenville Triumph jersey. Wall being established by our head official as Velasquez waits for the go-ahead. Greenville going down on a set piece. Can they find an answer via the same route? Velasquez takes it himself, and this one off target.
Such a difficult technique to beat the ball, to get it up and over, but underneath the crossbar. A player that quality with magic of a left wand beats the ball but unable to get it down. He needs to be more involved yet again, him and McKinnon, for the Greenville Triumph.
Fricky, no nonsense defending there. McKinnon is able to usher that one for Evan Lee to pick up. Greenville will hold possession once again. Here's Sikowski. And he's fouled. Another free kick on the way. Sikowski slow to get up. 23 years old, the rookie, Ben Sikowski, in his 14th appearance in league play. It's that man that has separated the two sides thus far. Anguiano and Velasquez, who are sitting behind this dead ball. This one a little bit further from goal than the previous two chances. Go-ahead's been given. It's Velasquez playing this one inside, headed back up top. Zakowski able to shrug off Terzaghi there. And that's going to be another foul on Emiliano Terzaghi.
He needs to be careful.
Already on a yellow card. And it looks like the ref saying, no more. It's the Kickers team that up 1-0 at this point. You don't want to put yourself in a compromised spot, Ricky. And not to mention, this is a Richmond team that, although can feel happy about where they're at score-wise, devastatingly enough, in Jägermeister Cup play and in league play, they have yet to have a clean sheet this season. So work is far from over for the Richmond Kickers in this game.
Needs to be better defensively as well, continuing to foul this Greenville Triumph side action after action, and that affords the home side just to put the ball into the mixer and cause a little bit of chaos between this back line and Ryan Cello.
Yeah, you're just asking for one of these times for just something to click just right or something unlucky to happen where it falls the way of Greenville. Darren Sawatsky wants his team to get one of these clean sheets. He's a solid in group defense. It's going to be a key in this one. If you slip up, Greenville will punish you for it. And a lot of stoppage here, Ricky, in between these set pieces. A lot of discussing, a lot of establishing from Sternbram, our head official. I imagine it's going to result in quite a bit being tacked on at the end of the half. Service comes striving in, still in the thick of things. Robles couldn't get it by Cello. On the doorstep. Cleared away by the Kickers. Polak lobs it forward once again. Zakowski on the left-hand side now, and he's fouled by Nathan Ani. Stoppage after stoppage here. Let's peek at that last opportunity. Getting closer and closer, Greenville.
This time it's Brandon Fricke. He does everything right. Heads it back across the goal mouth. Robles unable to get his hips around the ball. But give credit to the Kickers, how quickly they close down the space. Ryan Cello comes off his line yet again. Once more, really sloppy defending from the Kickers, unable to move their feet, lunging in and creating contact for the Greenville Triumph to win dangerous set piece.
And they're getting dead balls from all over the place now. We've seen one wide on the right, right on the left. McKinnon tried to drive it inside. And then Zakowski, actually pretty clever there to fake the cross, let it go out for a corner kick. So corner kick incoming for the Greenville Triumph. Yet another vantage point to try to put this ball into a dangerous spot. Carlos Anguiano. That one headed away by Schenfeld. Polak sends over the right-hand side. Brandon Fricke trying to keep it in favor of Greenville. Now Jamie Smith is down, clutching his face. Head contact means Jamie Smith has to be checked on. He's waving it away, but it is protocol that if you go down with what seems to be an apparent head injury.
It's that left arm for Fitch that comes across as he's trying to shield Jamie Smith out. Don't think there's any ill intent. Just unfortunate.
Has to exit the pitch and be waved back on. We got a couple instances today where I felt it took a little while to get the restart, but this is one where this is protocol. The ref does have to make sure Smith goes off and gets checked. This one escorted out for a kicker's throw. The USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams across the country begin play tomorrow, August 17th, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. Super excited to see that league get going. Women's League, the W League, excuse me, kicking off a couple years ago, and USL League One a few years before that. USL continuing to expand. Another result opening more and more opportunities for players to play professionally in the United States, which is always a good thing. Schenfeld. Long ball up to Terzaghi. A little bit awkward there, but Jamie Smith able to deal with it. McKinnon. Schultz. And McKinnon will try to switch the point of attack, but Justin Suko was there to intervene. Now Vinyals setting up Ryan Sierakowski, the goal scorer. He's one-on-one with Nate Schultz. Schultz been pretty solid on his right-hand side throughout this game thus far. This is exactly the opposite of what Greenville was looking for in this one. Rick Wright telling us that just hoping to put Richmond in a situation where they had to chase the game because teams are finding success sitting back against Greenville. Getting into a block and daring the Triumph to break it down, which I remember when you were talking to him, said it's one of the most difficult things to do as an attacking player.
Ball needs to move quick. There needs to be a little bit more movement on the top line and unbalancing this back line for the Kickers. Everything has been a bit too predictable for this Greenville side. We've seen McKinnon come to his right-hand side. Zakowski has pushed onto that left-hand side, so a little bit of a different look tactically for Rick Wright. Just needs to be a little bit more decisive in breaking lines. Clever little turn. Schenfeld gets caught. Well, we've seen this Greenville Triumph side be their best when they start on one side of the field, quickly change your point of attack and go 1v1 with the isolated winger on the weak side. So if you're Rick Wright, you want to see a little bit more of that.
Already over 10 fouls in this game for the Richmond Kickers. As yet another free kick being awarded there for the Greenville Triumph. This yellow card issued to Maxi Schenfeld, which he's up there as far as the league counts are concerned. 7 yellow cards on the season now in league play. Here's Zakowski winding around his man, Robles. Threading inside for Leeds, just too far ahead of him. Now Landon Johnson trying to make it through the thicket. He does the trick. Landon Johnson, once again, 17 years old. I asked Darren Sawatsky a little bit about his growth during his time as a new professional, relatively new. He signed last year in a historic deal with the Richmond Kickers. And when it comes to these young players getting the chance to play, Darren Sawatsky said there's two things that a young guy has to have. The first of which is brain speed, which if any of his young guys are out there getting minutes, it's because they have that ability to learn, to quickly pick up on things, adapt. And then they need to have another really sharp quality. And he said for Landon Johnson, it's his first step. He could get past the best of them in this league with that step. It's just now a matter of learning when to use it, how to use it. It's not speed. That first step's a little more particular a talent than just being a quick player.
It's that explosiveness, the ability to create a little bit of separation, and that's all you need for an attacking player. Half of a yard to make that difference. And like you said, Mark, now it's the understanding when to use it. It all comes down to positioning. The wider you are, the more real estate you have to operate. So yes, when you come century, you look to combine with the players around you, but in possession, you're looking for Johnson to stay high and wide as much as possible. And what that will do, that'll push Polak with him. That can open up a gap into Terzaghi to play into him, then you run off of him. So those are the types of actions that you need to see a little bit more of if you are the Richmond Kickers, because you've shown you have the ability to do that.
Ani finding himself well out of his position there as the Kickers were trying to build forward. McKinnon sending that one to Lee, and no one there to make that run. So he'll be collected by Maxi Schenfeld with no aggressors around sight. "40 minutes in. The difference in this one coming off a corner kick for the Kickers. Ryan Sierakowski getting on his bike and scoring. Fantastic finish. Since then, it's been Greenville trying to find an answer, to find a response. And they have been unsuccessful despite a myriad of free kicks from all over the place. Moran playing over to the right-hand side, and now we're turned back to another one of the youngsters on this team, Griffin Garnett, who more recently signed his first pro contract. Vinyals. That long ball reaching its target. There's Vinyals now, tracking some ground there, trying to return it to Johnson. Lee trying to turn the corner on Sakamaran. As we approach halftime, worth noting that we'll take a look at some highlights, discuss some of the news around the USL during the halftime break, so be sure to keep your stream running, your TV turned on, dialed into this channel.
And these are the moments that if you are Rick Wright, it needs to be quicker, needs to be more decisive. All 11 players for the Kickers, watch out here.
McKinnon sneaks it to Velasquez. Velasquez plays it out to the left-hand side. Zakowski tried to shoot. It was blocked immediately. Anguiano. Got Zakowski out wide once again. It's a cross in, but no green jersey on the end of it. Here's Schultz. Greenville find something here as this first half continues to wear closer and closer to its conclusion.
All 11 players for the Kickers behind the ball now into a mid to low block. So these types of runs, much like Polak just did, pulling players out. Now you're asking for secondary movements from the Triumph. 1-2 touch, crisp, clean passing is the way that you're going to unbalance this side.
Smith connects with Schultz. Schultz with the cross inside. Headed away before it could reach McKinnon. Fricky to Zakowski. Greenville trying to unlock this block. Schultz. Back over to Anguiano. Velasquez in tight quarters. Still with it. Velasquez was able to get the ball away, but couldn't reach a teammate. Now Lee ushering it back for Greenville. Evan Lee. Two longtime Triumph players connecting with each other, him and Polak. There's some tight passing. This one slips through for Velasquez, and it's into the back of the net. And look who it is. The answer has been called. Sebastian Velasquez scores his first goal as a member of the Greenville Triumph. And it's just what they were looking for. Tight passes, quick connections.
Player that we challenge to get more involved. When you play in between the lines, it's 1-2 touch around the corner, but give credit to Sebastian Velasquez. Look how quickly he gets himself onside. As both center backs, Garnett and Ani, get pulled in, now he just ventures in behind them. Fitch and Shenfield keep him onside. Clever finish, first to react, straight through the legs of Shello. And Greenville Triumph, they draw right before halftime through their number 10.
The Reedy River Riot ecstatic with that one, snapping what's been quite a long scoring drought here at home. That goal brought to you by the YMCA of Greenville and Sebastian Velasquez, of course. The Colombian who, as we talked about, grew up in Greenville. Finally scoring for his hometown team. Now Johnson on the other side. Had that one taken away from him, Zakowski. Able to get that one glanced off for the Greenville Triumph. Select the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Chatted with Rick Wright about Velasquez and just the kind of person he is and what he brings to a building. We'll hold that thought for just a moment as a free kick is incoming for the Richmond Kickers.
Our first goal scorer of the match is Sebastian Velasquez.
It's a first goal for Velasquez as a Greenville Triumph player. It's also a first assist for Rodrigo Robles as a Greenville Triumph player. So two players that earlier in the game you were asking to step up and make themselves known. Both answering the call there. Can Richmond now find an answer before the half concludes? Vinyals couldn't get it by the wall. Nice turn from Schenfeld to maintain possession. Now Fitch. His service is denied entry by the goal scorer, Sebastian Velasquez. Maybe the last moment here of the first half. Nathan Ani, throw-in extraordinaire. He has the ability to catapult this one into the 18. Schenfeld tries the shot, takes a deflection, and that's where things will wrap up after 45 plus. A goal apiece between Greenville and Richmond means that this one's still up for anybody to take in the second 45 minutes. Richmond with an early goal on the set piece. Greenville, after that, kept poking and prodding until finally Sebastian Velasquez found the back of the net. And with that, we'll step aside briefly. After this break, we'll return with some highlights from last regular season week's action here on ESPN+. Your score at the half, 1-1 apiece between Greenville and Richmond.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
One little lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean big. Bigger than jackpot big. Like back in 2014, when lottery funds helped upgrade South Carolina's classrooms, giving students the tools they needed to follow their biggest ideas wherever they lived, through school and far beyond. For over 20 years, the biggest lottery wins have been and always will be for our state students. After all, education is our middle name.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we're proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
South Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's reliable, that stays affordable. To do this, we're investing in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that South Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Non-action coming up here between Greenville and Richmond. They just went to break. It's one apiece between the two sides. Greenville leveling it up right before the whistle. But if you need some action, we've got some action for you here. Here are the highlights from last week in USL League One league play. Youth. It's flicked along to Lancaster. Oh, that's a stunner! Brilliant ball through. Youth doubles the lead. Lexington's caught fire on the break. And a 2-0 advantage before intermission. Progressive ball, driving effort, and a third for Lexington. Christian Liu Young on the score sheet. Charging through, he lays it off. It's an empty net, and Overton pulls one back. Much needed for the Jacks before the break. Sorensen. First time cross, it's into the danger area, and Charlotte has life. The Jacks have snatched one back. And Bouillou. Weaving inside, it's loose, Obregon, it's over the line. Charlotte's level. And it's that man who leads the league in scoring with the stunner.
Lineup. Water steps back, cross into the 6-yard box, a header! And that one's in for Fuego! It's Denbor Benson with the header. 14 World Cup, Pedro Hernandez running, shot deflected, into the back of the net! Well, that's one way to do it if you're Pedro Hernandez. Entered on the ground, in, and Central Valley takes the lead! What a huge goal by Jose Carrera Garcia!
Looping ball in, headed back by Norte. Off the basket, what an effort, what a goal! How about the opening goal right there from Juan Galindres? Subbed on, Gallardo. Dos Santos diving and what a goal! Steven Dos Santos goes Superman.
Kyle Gill centers for Rendon. Rendon tries to center up and scores! Vignoles. Neil Vignoles steps up, tries to take a shot and a goal! We're level at 1! Neil Vignoles steps up to the plate and slots that one in. They deflect off of Ani, but it's up for grabs now as it's Northern Colorado into the center area, scores! 2 goals for Noco, and Ethan Horde gets his 7th of the year. Marky Hernandez comes across, Jara steps up, and that's the finishing nail for Northern Colorado. Noah Powder gets the 3rd. Out by Lodge. Shot from range, and it finds Peters. What a hit! The hometown hero hammers through and delivers the lead for Tormenta. All the way wide. Back into the box, Fonseca! Hughes a shot, rebound to Miller, Andre Miller squaring, and that's a goal back. Louis Heel. That's a good ball, well weighted. Josh Doling has a go and guides his side back to level ground. The box from Daniel Steedman. It's a great ball and it's an even better hit. Jake Dangler arrows it in. Oh, what a cut back from him. Josh Doling into the box and bouncing in.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Maybe drowning every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Deciding to go right up through the middle. A shot. Wow! Masango Akali. Long range shot from Nordy. Stopped, and that one trickles in.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
There's a new airline in town. Breeze Airways has arrived at GSP International Airport with nonstop flights to 5 cities nationwide. Enjoy low fares, no change or cancellation fees, and convenient nonstop service. Make your next trip seriously nice on Breeze Airways. Visit flybreeze.com to book your flight from GSP today.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by ScanSource, proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph. Here's a look at your news and notes across the USL. The one I want to touch base on here, Ricky, is the one at that bottom. Lexington jumping up to the USL Championship next year, which means a potential new rivalry between them and Lou City. I think I got a name for them. Just got to call it the Derby Derby, right? I mean, that's got to be what it's called.
I think you have to. Just a world of good for Lexington jumping into up to USL Championship, opening the umbrella. Obviously, you want them to be competitive. New stadium coming in, just a world of good, and hats off to USL expanding from one league to the other.
let's take a look at the scores in other games taking place in USL League One. On Wednesday, it was a 0-0 draw between Madison and Charlotte. Also happening right now, the Ilya Illich era off to a great start for one. Knoxville 3-1 ahead of Chattanooga before they've even gone to the halftime break. So by the way it looks, you'll be able to catch the tail end of that one after this one wraps up, unless anything, of course, crazy happens in our game here in the second half. And then once that game concludes, we've got a game tonight at 11 p.m. between Central Valley and Lexington. Two other teams, much like Richmond, trying to flip the script and make a push for the playoffs here in the latter half of the season. And they'll be looking for players to step up, make their name known, and get on to the next team of the week. Here's a look at the Week 16 team of the week. I said this on Wednesday, and I'll say it again. You saw the highlights from that Spokane and Tormenta game, so why are there no Tormenta players anywhere on here? We saw some fantastic plays from them. We see tons of Spokane Velocity players. I just need some Tormenta representation here. That's all I'm asking for.
You just see that front three, Josh Dowling, Luis Hill, and Andre Lewis, obviously going into Tormenta. Not an easy place to play, but they get a result. Andre Lewis, fantastic in that game, and well-deserved player of the week for Week 16.
With that in mind, we'll step aside when we come back. First half highlights, first half stats, and second half kickoff here on ESPN+.
It starts with only one tap to have total home control with Priority One Security. You can view your cameras and video doorbells, integrate our smart locks, lights, thermostats, and control your garage doors. Customize your smart devices to fit your schedule with our automated controls for a smart, effective, and secure way to protect your home. Experience total control and complete security from the convenience of our one app, one tap smart security and home automation on demand. Call Priority One Security and tap that app. Official partner of the Greenville Triumph.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us, because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player, like knowing when to play and when to take a rain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Welcome back to Paladin Stadium. The second half is on the docket here between the Greenville Triumph and the Richmond Kickers. But first, let's do some recapping here. We had two great goals in the first 45 minutes of action, starting with the Richmond Kickers off this corner kick.
You play short just to change the angle, but look at the top of your screen. Fitch just comes into that back post and puts it back across where it came from, and now you're asking for one of your teammates to get on the end of it. Sierkowski does extremely well to pop off Brendan Frickin, an acrobatic finish. You put it on target, you give yourself a chance. Richmond Kickers draw first blood.
First goal in league play this season for Ryan Sierkowski. First goal in general in a Triumph jersey for Sebastian Velasquez.
It all comes down to the spacing of Velasquez. You understand, as Robles pops up, now I need to be the player that is high. Both center backs get drawn in. You put it in between them. And you let your special player make a special play in a special moment.
Here are your halftime stats brought to you by Coca-Cola. It's about 60% possession in favor of the Greenville Triumph. When you look at the expected goals, though, it's pretty equal, Ricky. 0.45 for Greenville to 0.4 for the Richmond Kickers. So even though Greenville have had more possession, also have advantage in shots and shots on target, they only just are able to keep in this game by finding that goal right at the end of the half. We'll see what kind of adjustments these two teams make coming into the second 45 minutes. Richmond are now going to be looking to get back on the offensive front of things. Meanwhile, Greenville, they'll be looking to pick up right where they left off as the half concluded. Now the two teams will switch ends. Greenville will go right to left, Richmond left to right. And we just await Sternbrim's whistle to get things going again, and there it is on cue. 1-1 your scoreline. Will either of these teams find the back of the net again and start picking up some steam here in the middle of August? Of course, I'm Mark Schoenster, Ricky Lopez-Espin joining me here on ESPN+. We welcome you in once again. It's another game for Richmond where they will go without having a clean sheet. They've only had 2 clean sheets all year, and both of which coming in the Open Cup. So that's definitely something that they're going to want to change as this season goes on. And we got a yellow card very quickly here to start off the second half. Carlos Anguiano getting his second of the season. Vignoles. One change for the Greenville Triumph. Actually, check that for the Richmond Kickers. Adrian Billhart stepping in for Landon Johnson. Billhart is a talented offensive player stepping in for Darren Sawatsky. That's just the kind of change you would love to see if you're a fan of the Richmond Kickers. As Robles keeps this one going. Lion McKinnon couldn't put it on frame.
Really good movement from Lion McKinnon. As Robles creates a little bit of separation, his head up is the whole way, and it's a secondary movement as he shows like he's gonna crash this far post. He cuts across the blind side. And the cutback is on. Fortunate for the Kickers, a little bit of deflection to put it over the crossbar.
Velasquez will take it from the right corner flag. And a diving header from Fricky. Couldn't quite connect with it, but it's still in the thick of things. Fricky again. A couple of headers now, and Ryan Shello gets on top of it. Here's a look at it again. A couple of good looks here for Greenville coming out of the gate.
Yet again, really good goalkeeping from Shello. As the goalkeeper, teammate or not, you have to command your 6-yard box and take out anyone in front of you. Knows a contact is coming. Secure hands from the Richmond Kickers goalkeeper.
So it's Greenville who have the first punch coming out of the dressing room. Ani switches over to the left-hand side. It's headed along, and Billhart actually pretty close to getting there. It didn't seem like that was going to be much of a dangerous play, but it ended up being closer than previously anticipated. Adrian Billhart having just subbed on. Garner will distribute this over to the right-hand side. Robles showing some motor there to stick onto that one and win his team another corner kick.
We've seen this Greenville Triumph side be a little bit more direct to start this second half, but all comes down to the positioning of Zakowski. He's dropping a little bit deeper, so that pulls out Schenfeld with him. Result of that, now you're asking Robles to make that run down the corner, and he pulls out Garnett or Ani with him. Really good tactical change from Rick Wright.
And they've got themselves another corner kick. Sebastian Velasquez returns to this spot. That one a little bit easier to handle for Ryan Shello. Schenfeld on the ball now. Tap it over to Garnett. Terzaghi, worth reminding you, on a yellow card. Now it's Billhart, the substitute. Lovely ball long. Simon Fitch back across. Justin Suko couldn't connect with it. A much needed challenge from Brandon Fricke. And now here's Liam McKinnon. Gets by Moran. And then Ani does well not only to slide in, but keep it in bounds. And then draws the foul on Velasquez. Oh, so close for the kickers there.
Just see the instant impact of Billhart. Ability to bring players into this game, but also can create on his own. 5 goals, 1 assist on the season. Left footer, so always can come centrally, but also play high and wide.
Fortuitous for Greenville. McKinnon, he can cut inside. He tried to do so, but tracking back there was Emiliano Terzaghi. And a man who knows exactly what a goal scorer is thinking. And steps in that lane. Moran trying to send Billhart running, but his back was to goal. Look at the captain, Brandon Fricke. An absolute warrior, as Rick Wright likes to describe him. Vignoles. Out to the left, Sierakowski. Trying his luck, but Nate Schultz continues to be quite a brick wall over there. Vignoles again. Gets it to Sierakowski. Driven this one inside. It's knocked away by Christian Garner. Had to sprawl out for it quickly. He's trying to sneak it in near post.
Corner for Richmond.
Exactly when Vignoles is at his best. Facing towards the opposing goal, have runners off of him. Sierakowski on that left-hand side has been really active at putting Nate Schultz under some pressure.
Service comes in and Jamie Smith does away with it. Moran puts this one up and it's Smith again. Saying nope, and now Evan Lee has Zakowski running with him. Ben Zakowski sends the cross inside, and it's headed away, not too far off goal. It needed to be right from Vignoles.
Yet again, another transitional moment. You talk about the extra effort from your number 10, tracking back over 60 yards to the defensive side of the ball to put it out for a corner kick, because that's a fantastic look from Zakowski. Has Robles peeling off the back shoulder. Flawless positioning from the number 10.
It'll be yet another corner kick for Greenville. Already a handful here to start off this second half. And that one gets by Shello. And we'll roll out for another corner kick. Suffered a glance somewhere along the way.
Just see the quality of Velasquez's left foot, bending it right on top of that 6-yard box. You need a body there if you're Rick Wright. Right where you want that ball to be placed.
This time it's Anguiano. Comes down and rolls out with no one challenging it. It'll be a throw in for Greenville. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on the SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app. Headed along by Fricke, easy pickings for Ryan Shello.
Fantastic distribution.
Billhart. Polak on him. Has to drift out wide. Now we'll backtrack. Suko. Has that one fall to Vignoles. Now it's Bilhart again. Polak getting in the way of that pass. And then a whistle blown on Zaka Moran. McKinnon a bit hobbled after that challenge.
Really clever from McKinnon. Understands the contact is coming, so at the last second just slots right in front of Moran. Goes down. Now he gives his side the ability to gain real estate, push numbers higher up the field.
One-year scoreline. Richmond got the goal scoring going early in the 14th minute, and then right at the 45th minute, Sebastian Velasquez found the answer for Greenville. And I would say, although they're the ones enjoying more of the possession, enjoying more of the opportunities to score, Richmond still have found a biting opportunity or two already here in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
And the kickers have looked their best when they go quick. When they force a turnover, they put it back into Bilhart.
Velasquez out to Lee. His ankles clipping it back to Velasquez. Jamie Smith has some time to think. Over the top to Robles. Not a lot of room over there. And it's getting tighter and tighter. Well defended. Simon Fitch just suffocating there. There's Zaghi. To Bilhart, but it's interjected by Jamie Smith, and now Ryan Shella will have to get rid of this one. Chested down by Schenfeld, and now Richmond can push forward. Sierakowski. Too much juice on that one. So it's out for a goal kick for Greenville. Fans, make sure to grab your tickets to the Triumph's next home match on August 16th, which is actually today, so that's the game for this one. Let's quickly find you when the next game is here on www.triumphtickets.com. It'll be August 30th at home against the Charlotte Independents. The final Jägermeister Cup game, so that's a big one, so you definitely want to come for that one, as those two try to vie for winning the top of their group.
Just seems like the spacing is a little bit off for the Triumph centrally, whether it is Lee, Ingiano, and Velasquez. Great ball.
Bilhart playing it back across. It's just behind Terzaghi. But the offside flag was up either way, so it wouldn't have counted.
To see at the result of that, Tyler Polak really animated with his side, very frustrated. Just hasn't been good enough centrally for the Greenville Triumph. Fortunate for Bilhart, for the Triumph, that he just ventures a bit offside in terms of the timing. But too many times you're seeing Sebastian Velasquez drop so deep, right on top of the two center backs. You want him to do all of his work higher up the field. So if I'm Rick Wright, I'm asking Lee and Ingiano just to be a little bit deeper, to suck out the two center midfielders, and then you can unbalance them just like this. That's when you're going to find your most success in between the lines.
McKinnon driving it forward, tried to sneak it by. Unsuccessful in that endeavor. Kickers toss it back into play. Ani over to Sierakowski. As we approach the 60-minute mark, 2/3 of the way through this game. Still either one and take it and run with it. Recent form for these two teams hasn't been the prettiest, as this one doesn't quite connect with Terzaghi, but it is a corner kick for the Kickers.
It's a fantastic ball in from Schenfeld. Right over the shoulder of Fricky. Veer Biltard, you crash that far post. It's a 1v1 between you and Garner.
Corner for Richmond.
Kickers, the goal came off of a corner kick in the first half. And Maxi Schenfeld, who was the author of that cross, will now whip one in from the other side. Not a bad ball. And another corner kick. Maxi Schenfeld right now leads the league in crosses coming into this game with 91. He's gotten some reps in as far as gameplay is concerned. Schenfeld taps it back out. Vinyals brings this one inside, and Ani got a flick on it. It'll end up being a goal kick for Garner. The USL League One is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Bilhard keeping his footing there. And now an opportunity for the Kickers. Vinyals back to Bilhard, and Bilhard's called off.
Just needs to be more clever, Bilhard here. Vinyals, his top priority is to make Brandon Fricky engage, and when he does that, that's when he's onside. He's onside about a yard. Just see Terzaghi pointing to our side official saying, no, sir. I think Greenville will try and get away with one here.
Bilhard not given the opportunity to put it on frame there. So a sigh of relief for Greenville fans. After the Triumph opened up this second half on the front foot, it's now the Kickers who are asking the questions and have actually taken the edge in the expected goals category.
Yet again, it's that central location that just hasn't been clean enough for the Triumph.
Bilhard, another cross, and this one claimed by Garner. Christian Garner, who got himself some notoriety in recent weeks after his briefest of brief loans to the Charleston Battery, where he was picked up for a game, got a clean sheet, took off the jersey, said, all right, my job here is done. Did so on a national level too, prime time slot on TV, I believe it was on the CBS Sports Network, and made his presence known, came back, had to feel pretty good about himself in that regard, but also a lot of great things said about his professionalism on the Battery camp. Back to Rick Wright and his crew, but it's a two-way street. Rick Wright said he was very comfortable with giving him to Ben Pyramid, and he knew that they run a tight ship over there. And now he's earned himself a start in this game in what has been, of course, a very tight competition between Garner and Gunther Rankenberg. Fitch bringing this one down. Back to Vinyals. Does a little twirl. Now Fitch, can he keep it in bounds? Not quite. Some substitutions coming in for Rick Wright's side. Zion Scarlett on for Ben Zakowski. And then Pascal Corvino subbing on for Evan Lee. Corvino scored that banger of a goal last time these two teams played. These substitutions brought to you by Spinks. Scarlett giving them some athleticism out wide. Meanwhile, Pascal Corvino, I'm sure they'd love for him to recreate what he did at City Stadium. So those are the first two adjustments personnel-wise for Rick Wright.
I think the top priority now for Rick Wright is going to be the positioning of Corvino, especially in the build-out phase. You want him to stay a little bit deeper so you can pull out Vinyl, Sugo, or Moran, and that's when you can bypass that initial pressure to find Velasquez. That's the way that you're going to unbalance this kicker side centrally, because too many times you're trying to force the ball into a traffic area, and that's given the kickers the ability to turn their defense into offense. So now decision-making, playing vertical is going to be the top priority for the Greenville Triumph, to get Robles, to get Scarlett and McKinnon more involved higher up the field.
Straight line ball from Fricky there, down the pitch to Robles.
Those are the actions that I'm talking about, Mark, because you have your whole midfield line so deep. So now there's about 10 to 15 yards of space for Robles just to pin back his individual marker and opens up a passing lane.
Simon Fitch with some pace, bringing it forward, and now we'll roll back to Ani. Nathan Ani on the left-hand side, searching for Sierakowski, but instead finds Nate Schultz. Well, I would say it's been about the steadiest of hands in the game today, Nate Schultz. It's not made anything easy for Richmond over on that left-hand side. And now adjustments for Darren Sawatsky, as Dakota Barnathan subs on for Maxi Schenfeld. And Chandler O'Dwyer will sub into the game for Ryan Sierakowski. Well, actually, an adjustment. Justin Suko is coming out for Chandler O'Dwyer instead of Ryan Sierakowski, to offer up a quick correction there. Chandler O'Dwyer, worth noting, was the man who etched himself into legend in that game against Forward Madison. The last time the Kickers were able to collect all 3 points of the game. They technically won their last game against Tormenta, winning in penalties in Jägermeister Cup play, but when you look at the result, it goes down as a draw technically. So if Pascal Corvino is the man that Greenville would love to recreate some magic, Chandler O'Dwyer probably fits that similar role for the Richmond Kickers. So now the changes have come in. This is a portion of the game where who controls the game goes up in the air once again, and it's up for these personnel changes and how they mesh into the game to take over and assert themselves as the team more likely to find that next goal and claim all 3 points. Polak playing it to Corvino, and now Velasquez returns it right back to him. Corvino can't get around Fitch. Moran over to Simon Fitch. Plays it ahead for Bill Hart. McKinnon keeping this play alive for Greenville, and his efforts earn his side a free kick, and a yellow card's going to be given to Fitch. His third yellow card of the season.
Pure willingness from McKinnon not to give up, to take the contact and try to put it around the corner. Bit loose from Fitch.
GSP International Airport yellow card issued to Simon Fitch. And now yet another set piece for the Greenville Triumph. The Kickers have been called for now over 13 fouls in this game. So there's been a surplus of dead ball opportunities for Greenville in this game, courtesy of free kicks and corner kicks. Haven't been able to make the most of it yet. It's Lion McKinnon, and McKinnon gave his crack at it. He couldn't put it on frame. Now him, Velasquez, and Jamie Smith have all given it a go, and none of them could put it on frame.
Very similar the way that they run up to it as well. But 3 steps, really difficult to generate that enough power and the shape on it to beat a goalkeeper from that distance.
Wind billowing a bit here at Paladin Stadium. 20 more minutes for one of these teams to claim some momentum for their season. Greenville trying to keep up in the race for first place for that Players' Shield. Richmond looking to get back into the mix of things for the playoffs. Fitch is going to have to try to keep that one in play. Couldn't do it. It's a corner kick for Greenville. Ryan Shello with some gamesmanship there. Just caught out of his box, so knocks that ball away to kill some time. McKinnon playing this one inside, not effectively cleared away, but the second poke does the trick. Robles chests it down. McKinnon tried to slip that one through the legs of Fitch, but it's Ryan Shello who ends up victorious here.
Really difficult to hit this first time. McKinnon, you want to take that secondary touch down towards the end line. That's when you can cut it back across. And an easy save for Shello.
Griffin Garnett, youngster on the ball. Cool under pressure there. Darren Sawatsky in charge, of course, has had to usher in some of these young players and get them up to shape to play at the professional level. But he's a guy who's been working around in the youth development side of things for quite a long time now as far as the soccer pyramid is concerned, is Bill Hart. I'll walk this one back before dipping it forward, and now it'll bounce away. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. To continue my thought about Sawatsky, asked him how much has it changed developing youth talent throughout the time that he's been in the game of developing youth talent. And he said, honestly, a lot of it hasn't changed for the worse. It's a lot of the practices and how it's been done, the models haven't changed enough across the country in the U.S., and that can't be the case. They're trying to evolve that model in Richmond, be better about it. He mentioned that one of the international guys really put it well, that in other countries they develop footballers, whereas in the U.S. they develop athletes through these systems, and it needs to be more focused on the actual footballing. And he's trying to evolve that model in Richmond, and I mean, he's already gotten it to the point where he's able to field some of these players, and I mean, Griffin Garnett has practically started the entire season at that center back spot and has been a solid piece to this Kickers lineup. So there's definitely something right going on in Richmond, at least from the outside looking in, of course.
I mean, it's evident, obviously, when we had the ability to speak with him as well. The first thing that he said is, yes, I wanted to be here because I understand how important the youth scene is here for the Richmond Kickers. And I want to give them the opportunity to play professional football and continue on in their career. You just see the way that they go about their business as well in terms of the way that they want to play the game. They want to get on the ball. They want to dictate tempo. They want to be a possession-based team, but yet understand that we can adapt when we play against different oppositions. So through 75 minutes, he needs to be very pleased with how his side has shown, especially with their lack of form on the road. Only has won one game away from City Stadium.
trying to find a second win on the road here. They're able to, in Jägermeister Cup play, find a win here at Paladin Stadium early on in the season. As we get some precipitation here as well in Greenville. That could be another factor in this game. Both coaches have bemoaned the element of the simple mistake that have undone their teams. Charlotte, for the Charlotte matchup for Greenville recently, and for Richmond, Darren Sawatsky said it's been sort of a plight throughout the season that they've been pretty unforgivably punished for their mishaps in matches, as Justin Suko now makes his way out, and Joao Gomiro subs on. And now with the rain as an added element, perhaps the chance for a slip up, both literally and figuratively, starts to come into the fray, especially here in the final frame of the match, as this ball comes diving in, punched away by Garner, and Garner is on his back. A little bit slow to get up. The wind is whipping, the rain starting to come down. Those are both elements of chaos and unpredictability, but also could prove crucial for one of these teams' seasons, depending on how the dominoes fall after this game. Bill Hart searching for Terzaghi, but couldn't get the pass off. Now McKinnon. Some tight passing from Greenville here to get out of trouble. Vignoles with a nice turn. Feeds this one inside, knocked away by Smith. And now a foul in favor of Greenville, as now you can really see the rain started to swipe in here. Whew. That is a lot of rain.
Now the ball's going to move really quickly on this turf field. Your first touch is going to be everything.
A deluge in Greenville as Corvino finds the ball. Winds around, he takes the shot, saved by Shello. And now maybe you're more inclined to let them fly from me on the 18-2, because it's going to be harder to corral for these goalkeepers, and perhaps not the initial shot, but the spillage after the fact could be the moment, the chance for one of these teams to break through.
100%. You get a window of opportunity, you have to take it, test the goalkeeper. And secondary actions, if you're an attacking or defending player, are going to be really important to follow up anything in around your 18-yard box.
And perhaps it is just a scrappy goal like that that wins this game for one of these two teams, as Bill Hart brings that one down. And then a sliding collision as Jamie Smith is down. Play goes on. Bill Hart earns the corner kick. And Smith, who came sliding in for that challenge, ends up being the one to suffer for it. And now corner kick ensuing for the kickers. Ani will make his way to the corner as a substitution prepares itself. Guy Franca is on. Griffin Garnett is out. So maybe giving the youngster a chance to get out of a game that might get a little hairy here and bring in someone with a little bit more experience. Franca, 25 years old. Also 6'2", could be helpful on this set piece. It was played short, Greenville win it back. I hope the image you're seeing here is properly demonstrating to you just how hard it's raining. And another corner kick for Richmond.
As you bring in Franco, already has a goal this season. Now he's going to be one of the intended targets for set pieces, but also expecting from Darren Sawatsky for this game to be a little bit more aerial duels, more of a presence on the back line. Really important set piece here for Neil Vignoles.
One of our two players to watch before the game, Vignoles. Nice looking ball headed away. Tapped over to the left-hand side. Volleyed effort on goal. Didn't reach the keeper. Headed away by a center back, and now McKinnon just playing it forward to chase after, and Ryan Schello can await it, pick it up, and distribute. 10 more minutes to go. Good looking ball from Vinyals. Terzaghi absorbing the contact. The kickers, the ones asking questions here. Now Fitch. Closing challenge from Tyler Polak. And another corner kick for Richmond.
Tyler Polak has been tested very frequently in this second 45 minutes on this near side, creating a little bit of an overload. The Richmond kickers are, but he's answered every single question asked of him. The left back for the Greenville Triumph.
It's Nil Vinyals again from the corner. Headed away by Polak. Back to Vinyals. Pops this one up. Headed down. And Garner falls on top of it. Greenville stands strong once again. But can they find anything on their end of things? Because right now it's just been defend, boot up the pitch, defend again.
Having a really difficult time getting any sort of rhythm. Rick writes, boys, you want someone just to put their foot on the game and slow it down to get the confidence back within. Been mostly one-way traffic for the last 15 minutes.
Billhart offside. And Greenville will win possession once again. Fans, download the FanSaves app and follow the Greenville Triumph for access to exclusive deals at your favorite restaurants and breweries. Darren Sawatsky is always donning the black outfit. Of course, he's got the black raincoat ready if the situation arises. A trademark as ever present in USL League One throughout its history. To be honest, Ricky, I don't know what I would do if I ever saw him in any other color.
Wouldn't feel right.
Here's a shot on goal. Schello palms it down, then deals with it. It's a little something from Greenville there. Now, these players are absolutely soaked. It was dry out there just, what, 10, 12 minutes ago? Chandler O'Dwyer tangled up by Polak, and that'll most likely be a yellow card, and it will be. Ref not a fan of that quick restart, as he did need to log who went in the books there. Tyler Polak with his 5th of the season. Can't typically take him quick when a booking is involved. Golly, that's a lot of rain. Fitch. Hopeful pass inside. Headed back down to him, but he was in an offside position. Though Emiliano Terzaghi pointing fervently at Jamie Smith, who was a little bit deeper than the rest of his line, but I do believe Fitch was still in an offside position despite that. More time rolling away here. Now the whistle has been given. The yellow card been given to a member of the bench of the Richmond Kickers. We get confirmation on particularly who. We'll get that to you. Polak trying to dance by Billhart. But now it's Bill Hart who's showing off some tact with the ball at his feet. And now Velasquez plays it to his right. Scarlett pops this one up. Chested down, nothing could come of it. Now Polak. Corvino tries to shoot, spills over, Anguiano didn't connect with that one just right, and now the kickers could sprint the other direction. Here's O'Dwyer. That touch just got ahead of him there. And that's an example of just how fast the ball moves on this pitch, Ricky. You were talking about it earlier.
Both teams have a cleaner first touch. We have an opportunity to score.
Cross comes in for Bill Hart, headed away by Smith. Gomiro did what he could to keep it in play, but unsuccessful in that endeavor. 4 more minutes plus stoppage time to go. This is the 17th time these two teams have played each other across all competitions. Ryan Shello gets to the end of that one. Yeah, it's that wet. Doesn't really make much of a difference at this point in time. Shirt on or not, now the Richmond Kickers in the Greenville Triumph will have to keep theirs on for the sake of avoiding a yellow card. And now a corner kick for Richmond.
Gonna get a really good ball across the 6-yard box. Bill Hart, you have to have the ability to slash across Tyler Polak. It's a third action now that you get on the far end of it.
So they're switching up the corner kick taker. It will be Bill Hart who takes his way over to the corner flag. Vignoles will now make his way inside. An adjustment here. Will it do the trick? Headed in frame. 2 players went for it. Still in the thicket. Christian Garner is able to fall on top of it. And Brandon Fricke slow to get up. It was messy, but it almost worked for Richmond.
Good save from Garner. Has to be quick off his line in terms of the reaction time. Gets down to his left-hand side. I do think Brandon Fricke and Jamie Smith have been fantastic, the center back pairing for the Triumph.
Bill Hart has that one get away from him. Robles popping this over to McKinnon. Getting tighter and tighter here on time. Velasquez gets there before Gomiro, but his touch got away from him. Is there a late winner in this one for either team? There's really no pulse on who it might be. Both teams have made their way down the pitch and have asked some questions. Smith tried to keep that one going. And Vignoles taken to ground. And we have to pause play here due to lightning striking in the area. So this weather delay presented by Fox Carolina. Not a lot of time left in this game, but not enough time. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna step aside. When we come back after this weather delay concludes, we'll see the closing moments of this game. Another wrench, another curveball in this one. We'll see you on the other side.
God.
And we welcome you back to Paladin Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina. Action quickly resuming here for the entirety of the second half. Greenville fans and Richmond fans alike holding their breath to see if their side can claim all 3 points, and then Mother Nature decided, why not wait another 30 minutes? Hold your breath a little bit longer to see if your team will come through. Mark Schoenster, Ricky Lopez, Espen with you here on ESPN Plus. We welcome you back into the fray. We hope you kept your TV on and that you were staying locked in on Twitter to see the updates. No Vinyals playing over to the right-hand side, collected by Christian Garner. It was a goal in the first half by Ryan Sierakowski in the 14th minute off a corner kick. Got on his bike to score it to start things off, and then right before the half concluded, Sebastian Velasquez scoring his first goal as a Greenville Triumph player. His first goal contribution in general as a Greenville Triumph player. Came into this game with 0 goals, 0 assists, despite being the highlight signing before the season started. And of course, that may paint a little bit of an unfair picture. He's been a pretty big impact player on the team, just hasn't ended up on the stat sheet. But now he can get that off his back. Fricky gets that one away. These are two teams that have been in a bit of a sluggish form as of late, and 3 points here would be massive for either side to get back into the swing of things for Greenville, to return to their ways of early in the season, the results they were stringing together, and for Richmond to really just get it going this year. It's just been an awkward season filled with injuries, with other odd inconveniences that have led to them not being able to find a run of form yet. But there's no better time to get into form than in the closing months of the season going into the postseason, should you be so successful. One of the features of this game before we went to delay was the high volume of free kick opportunities for the Greenville Triumph. A lot of fouls committed by Richmond, and that's going to be a yellow card for Zaka Moran, who coming into the weekend was tied for first in yellow cards accrued this season in league play with 7. Now he has 8. That's our head official, Stern Bream, giving the booking. So now, free kick for Greenville. All the free kicks early in the game have not come to anything for the Triumph. But can they do it here in stoppage time, post-delay? It was a deluge before we went to the delay. It's cleared up once again. That clearance, not the greatest, but Ryan Schella was ready for it. McKinnon tussling to keep that one in the favor of Greenville. And there's Oliver Huld, who is subbed into the game during the delay. So just getting a chance to play some closing minutes. And along with that, Hayden Anderson is into the match as well. And he'll kick back the board and try to launch this one in. Throw-in specialist for Greenville. Anderson chucks it in, and it's headed away. But now Schultz trying to connect with that one. Hit it out once again. Now Smith can chase this one down. Moran heads it out. Has to knock it away again. Now Corvino. 30 more seconds to go roughly.
The amount of set pieces that Richmond kickers have had to defend. They've been really clever, really strong in their box defending. So that is something, if you're Darren Sawatsky, you have to be very pleased with how your boys have shown doing the dirty side of the ball.
Anderson's throw and falls into the 18, right around the 6-yard line. Terzaghi steps in front of Anderson. And he'll go out for another Greenville throw, and this may be the last action. Another Anderson throw in. And Greenville steal away 3 points here at the death. Takes one bounce, and then it's cleared away. And there's your final whistle. A point apiece shared between the two sides. After delay, the teams return, finish this one out properly, shake hands, and both will have a goal and have a point in this one. 1-1 your final score. Perhaps 30 minutes later than some anticipated. We're gonna step aside briefly. When we come back, we'll have our post-game coverage for you here on ESPN+. But your final score, 1-1 between the Greenville Triumph and the Richmond Kickers.
What exactly is a Sully steamer? Our sandwiches are made to order, which means once you've taken a look at our big menu and narrowed down your options, we go to work. Our sandwiches are stuffed with fresh, flavorful ingredients and then placed in our special steamer until the sandwich gets warm and soft and fuses all the flavors together to achieve the peak of tastiness. Are you hungry yet?
One little lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean big. Bigger than jackpot big. Like back in 2014, when lottery funds helped upgrade South Carolina's classrooms, giving students the tools they needed to follow their biggest ideas wherever they live, through school and far beyond. For over 20 years, the biggest lottery wins have been and always will be for our state students. After all, education is our middle name.
It starts with only one tap to have total home control with Priority One Security. You can view your cameras and video doorbells, integrate our smart locks, lights, thermostats, and control your garage doors. Customize your smart devices to fit your schedule with our automated controls for a smart, effective, and secure way to protect your home. Experience total control and complete security from the convenience of our one app, one tap smart security and home automation on demand. Call Priority One Security and tap that app. Official partner of the Greenville Triumph.
Welcome back to Paladin Stadium. 30 minutes post when we thought we'd be wrapping things up here. Now things are finally to a close. 1-1 your final score between the Greenville Triumph and the Richmond Kickers in their final regular season meeting. Their fourth matchup of the season, the last one on the docket schedule-wise. As we take a look at the highlights from this one, Mark Schoenster, Ricky Lopez-Espin with you here on ESPN+. Here's the goal for the Richmond Kickers, and it was one fabulous little set-piece design from the Kickers, finished off by Ryan Sierkowski.
Set pieces are very important, especially when you're on the road. You change the look to go short, and now you just punch this ball to the back post and ask your player to get onto it. Decision-making for Fitch, put it back into your striker. Fantastic goal. And the Richmond Kickers get the first goal in the evening.
These full-time highlights brought to you by GSP International Airport, and then Sebastian Velasquez. We were asking of him to get more involved in the stat sheet, and more involved he became.
It's the understanding from Velasquez. As Robas pushes high, he requires both center backs. So as you continue your run, really clever finish, 1-1.
And then 80th minute, big opportunity here for the Richmond Kickers. It would be a chance that would be denied by Christian Garner at the end of things.
And he was really good between the sticks, him and Cello, really commanding their 6-yard box. And just look at the downpour coming on for this Greenville Triumph. Continue to ask questions and put pressure on the Kickers, but unable to find the back of the net.
87th minute. This, a really big chance for the Kickers. You see here, put it in the mixer, got messy, but Christian Garner had the quick reaction and got the job done to prevent the Kickers from taking the lead as we look at the full-time stats brought to you by Coca-Cola. Greenville with a little bit of an edge statistically, but I think this was a game that was pretty evenly matched throughout.
I think 1 point apiece is deserving for both of these clubs. For Rick Wright, you're looking at getting more numbers higher up the field and taking your chances. And for Darren Sawatsky, yes, you look at, you're still trying to push up into that playoff picture, so probably not what you wanted in terms of the points, but you had good performances and glimpses. But now how do you have that progression over a course of 90 minutes?
The Greenville Triumph next Sunday will go on the road to play the Hailstorm. Meanwhile, Darren Sawatsky's side will go on the road to Omaha next Saturday. But that's looking ahead for our broadcast tonight for our entire crew. Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Mark Schoenster saying thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your night, and we'll see you next time on ESPN Plus. Your final score, Greenville 1, Richmond 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.